Every football team eventually arrives at a lead play, a number one play, a bread and butter play. It is the play that the team knows it must make go, and the one its opponents know they must stop. Continued success with it, of course, makes a number one play, because from that success stems your own team's confidence. And behind that is the basic truth that it expresses the coach as a coach and the players as a team. And they feel complete satisfaction when they execute it successfully. My number one play is the power sweep. There's nothing spectacular about it. It's just a yard gainer. Look at it on the blackboard. We have it illustrated here against a 4-3 defense. One of the advantages of this play is that we feel we can run it against any defense, even or odd. Here is the 4-3 defense as it is illustrated here. We also will show it against an over defense, which we mean is that the defensive line is overshifted to the strength of the formation, and the defensive linebackers or the linebackers are shifted weak, given the Oklahoma setup on the weak side. And under defense, I mean by that the linemen are shifted weak, with the linebackers shifted strong, giving an Oklahoma look on the strong side. Here's a 4-4 defense, which is also a defense which has even spacing. The middle linebacker shifted strong, sometimes referred to as a 6-2 defense. This play can be blocked either odd or even, and it is the center's decision how it is to be blocked. Of course, in these two defenses, the over and the under defenses, there is no decision. It's odd to start with. There's a man playing directly on top of him, therefore he will make the odd call. Here, he does have a decision. What that decision is dependent upon two things. The position of this man and what kind of a man he is. For example, if he's too wide, there's no way that the center can get over here to make the onside cutoff. If he's very quick and very fast and is prone to follow the guards when they pull, the center realizes that he cannot make the onside cutoff and will make an odd call. We mean by that, on an odd call, instead of making the onside cutoff, he will make the cutoff on the middle linebacker. That call of odd also determines the block of the tackle. On an odd call by the center, the tackle must drive the man between himself and the ball. In this case, the one man. The YN's rule is to open up to a position somewhere between 6 and 9 feet from his tackle. We ask him to do this so he can isolate these two men, isolate the defensive man over the YN, so that the back can either cut inside the block of the YN or outside the block of the YN. A coaching point here is that we tell the YN under no circumstances should he allow penetration to the inside. We do not care how much penetration the defensive man gets to the outside. There is a particular technique we ask him to use here. We tell him, the YN, to set his arm a pass. In other words, he uses exactly the same technique here as we ask the offensive lineman to use in protecting for the passer. We ask him to put his weight on his inside foot, keeping his eyes right on the numbers of the defensive man. So that if the defensive man does come to the inside real quickly, his weight is on the inside foot, he can drive him down the line. This is the ideal way to run a sweep, as everyone knows. The worst thing can happen to the defense is to have a sweep get to the outside. Usually what happens is that the defensive man playing over the YN will penetrate to the outside. Here we have a different technique. Now, all we ask the YN to do is to open up his outside foot, keeping his eyes on the numbers, and when the numbers of the defensive man gets outside his eyes, he wheels them out. Just a plain wheel to keep him on the outside so that the back can cut inside. To repeat, the YN or the tight end's rule, set us on a pass and drive the man over him in the direction of his angle. Never allow penetration to the inside. We don't care too much about penetration to the outside, where it usually happens, by the way. Because of the pull of the guard, you'll find this man will come up the field to the outside. He will usually do one of those two things. He will try to penetrate in here. He will try to penetrate to the outside. Very, very seldomly will he try to come directly over the YN. If he comes to the inside, but as we've already explained, it's up to the YN to drive him out. Coming to the tackle, his rule, drive the man over him, or drive the two men, as I should say. If he's over him, None, slam the two-man and seal inside. That's on an even call by the center. The fullback, and he works in coordination with the tackle, drive the first man outside the offensive tackle. None, seal inside. Coaching point here for the fullback. He must make a direct attack almost over the outside leg of the offensive tackle. And the first man that shows, and in this particular case, is the first man outside the offensive tackle. The first man that shows, he drives him. None. None. In other words, if no one shows, he goes right by this and seals inside. Another coaching point for the fullback here is to take a direct approach, a straight line approach. A very common error we find even up here with us is that most of the fullbacks try to take a roundabout approach or a circle approach. As a result, the defensive end or the defensive two-man here will make a quick penetration coming way inside the fullback and knocking off